Hey guys, Jack on Wrist here, back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to tell you all about Movado's new attempt to capitalize on the integrated steel sports watch market with their new Movado SE. This is something we have seen a lot recently. With the popularity and absurd prices of models such as the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak and Patek Philippe Nautilus, many companies are pushing their own, more affordable counterparts to those watches. In recent months, we have seen the emergence of the Tissot PRX, a retro design from the brand that features both a quartz and powermatic movement option. I thought those watches were actually tastefully done and at a reasonable price. However, as you'll see today in the case of the Movado, some brands are not executing the steel sports watch well into their new lineup. So let's break down the new Movado SE. Just going over the basic specifications, this watch features the classic museum-style dial that has become a default for Movado over the last decade or so. Personally, I find it very boring as it has basically the same look as every other Movado out there. It has a 41mm stainless steel case attached to an integrated stainless steel bracelet that has a standard butterfly clasp. Said bracelet appears to have a pin and collar system for the links, not something you want to see at this price point. Speaking of price points, this watch comes in at $995 at retail, which I find ridiculous. To continue with things you don't want to see at a $1,000 price point, this watch features a basic Swiss quartz movement and 50 meters of water resistance. There is an option for an automatic version starting at $1,850 that features a quote-unquote 608A automatic caliber movement, but there's no surprise to find out that that is simply a ETA-based movement with a 38-hour power reserve. Nothing special. Again, that price I find to be absolutely outrageous for the specifications I have listed. Just about the only thing this watch does right is feature a sapphire crystal, but these days that is becoming a standard for watches under $500. The Tissot PRX similarly has a quartz and automatic option that sells for less than half the price of each version of the Movado SE respectively. I don't mean to overuse the PRX as a comparison, but it truly is the best example I can remember of a company doing a parody of the Royal Oak or Nautilus well. It's just so easy to look at the Movado in frustration with its crazy price and underwhelming specs when you have something else to compare it to. As you might be able to tell, I really dislike this watch. It isn't necessarily ugly looking, but it is the laziest I've seen a company try and rip off the Royal Oak and Nautilus trend. That and the fact that it is grossly overpriced. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't mind the Tissot PRX as much. Yes, it was a capitalization on the steel sports watch trend, but the design was unique enough and it was being sold at a reasonable price. I mean, you can get the Powermatic 80 version of the PRX for only $650, which is an absolute steal compared to the Movado SE. It's obvious that this was a cash grab by Movado. Simply put, these watches are not worth their price tag and they're relying on less knowledgeable customers to buy this watch. As I always say, buy what you like, but if you're someone considering this watch, I urge you to look in another direction for something of better value, such as the Tissot PRX I've mentioned many times in this video. Let me know in the comment section down below how you guys feel about this watch and the companies in general getting on this trend. Are you against all these quote-unquote copycats or just brands like Movado who are, in my opinion, going about it in the wrong way? Thank you so much for watching. I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel if you're enjoying the content, and that being said, I'll see you in the next one.